All right, so we're diving into Atalanta versus Napoli coming up on January 18th.
Yeah, first versus second in Serie A.
And it's kind of a big deal, right? Not just because of the standings, but
Oh, absolutely.
the styles of these two teams.
A clash of styles for sure.
Yeah. What do you think? Are we overhyping this one, or is it?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
It's I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you've got Atalanta who are so offensively minded, especially at home.
Yeah, their home record is...
It's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah.
And then you've got Napoli who are just so solid defensively.
When they're away, too.
Particularly when they're away.
So Atalanta at the Goes Stadium.
Goes Stadium.
So they're averaging like, what, 2.6 goals per game at home?
In their last 5, yeah.
Their last 5 matches.
That's
a lot of goals.
a lot of goals.
That's not an accident.
So are they just that good offensively, or?
I think they're very, very good offensively.
Yeah.
They play a very attacking 3-4-3 formation.
Which allows them to get their wingbacks high up the pitch. And they really overload the opposition's defense.
So it's more than just having like one really good striker or something.
Yeah, I mean, their star striker is clinical in front of goal.
Okay.
But it's the way they play that creates a lot of those chances for them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, you've got Napoli, who, like you said, they're
defensive.
Yeah, so, and they might not be scoring as much on the road, but...
1.8 goals per game in their last 5 away matches, but...
Okay, so still scoring a decent amount.
Still scoring, but... Yeah, it's their defense, you know.
They don't let in a lot of goals.
They concede like 0.6 goals per game.
0.6? That's like...
Away from home.
Less than 1 goal.
That's amazing.
Every game.
How do they do that?
It's really down to their manager's tactics, I think. He's got them playing a very, very compact 4-4-2 when they're away from home.
Okay.
And they prioritize defensive discipline first and foremost. So they're very happy to sit back, absorb pressure, and then hit teams on the counterattack.
So it's kind of, in a way, like they're inviting the other team to attack.
Yeah.
And then they're just waiting to pounce.
Exactly.
Wow. All right. So this is setting up to be...
It's a classic irresistible force versus immovable object, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
We have this data that we've been looking at.
Right.
And it's not giving us a clear prediction at all for this match.
It's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
The source material gives both teams a 35% chance of winning, with a 30% chance of a draw.
35% each.
It's incredibly close.
Wow, so that really is saying...
Yeah, the odds makers are struggling.
This is basically a toss-up.
Pretty much.
Could go either way.
Yeah, and it could be anything from a 0-0 bore draw to a 5-4 thriller.
I mean, because you've got a team that scores a ton of goals at home.
Exactly.
Against a team that doesn't let in goals.
Exactly. So
something has to give.
Something's got to give. Yeah. And I guess that's part of what makes this so exciting to watch.
Oh, absolutely. It's that unpredictability. It's the fact that you've got 2 teams in top form who are both vying for the title.
Yeah.
And, you know, stakes are high, the pressure's immense.
The atmosphere at the stadium's going to be incredible.
Oh, electric. I can only imagine what it's going to be like at the Goes Stadium on that night.
As we're looking at potential score lines here, just based on everything we've talked about.
Given what we know about both sides, a 1-1 draw wouldn't be a surprise at all.
Okay.
But I think a 2-1 victory
for either team?
For either side is absolutely on the cards.
Okay, so it could be one of those kind of like edgy...
Yeah, it could be a really tight...
back and forth kind of.
Cagey, tight, yeah.
All right, so we've established that it's going to be close. It's going to be... There's no clear favorite.
It's really hard to call.
If you were... if you like to have a little wager, how would you even approach this?
Well, the bookmakers are as uncertain as we are, I think. Yeah. The odds for a home win, away win, even a draw are all incredibly close.
So then what do you do?
Well, I think, if you're a betting person, I think a double chance bet on Atalanta or draw could be a smart play here.
So that's like you win if Atalanta wins.
You win if Atalanta wins.
Or if it's a draw.
Or if it's a draw, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a slightly more conservative approach, obviously.
Right.
But I think given the uncertainty, it kind of makes sense.
But couldn't you also just go, Atalanta's home record is so good.
You could.
Why not just go with Atalanta?
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Napoli's defensive record away from home
is really good.
Is so good that it's kind of,
I guess it depends on how much risk you're willing to take.
I think it comes down to risk tolerance.
Yeah. Okay. So besides the double chance, was there anything else in the source material that...
Yeah, I mean, I think the other bet that kind of stands out,
Okay.
given, the way both teams play, is both teams to score.
Both teams to score. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Atalanta's firepower, and while Napoli are known for their defense, they're no slouches going forward.
Especially on the counter.
Especially on the counterattack, yeah.
Right. They're going to.
So I think we're almost guaranteed goals at both ends.
Okay, so that seems like a pretty decent bet, too.
Seems like a reasonable bet.
What about, like, over 2.5 goals?
Oh, yeah, I like that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's going to be...
Looking at their form,
Yeah.
the way they both play, I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least 3 goals in this match.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so we got, like, double chance, both teams to score, over 2.5. And then I saw in the source material, they were talking about...
Parlays, yeah, accumulated.
Parlays. And they had a couple of different parlay options. One of them was...
Well, they were combining both teams to score with over 2.5 goals.
Right.
So if you really fancy an open attacking game
Okay.
with plenty of goals.
So that's if you're really feeling lucky.
Yeah, that's a bit more of a risky bet.
Right, and then the other one...
The other one was a bit more conservative.
Okay.
They were combining the double chance on Atalanta to win or draw
Okay.
with over 1.5 goals.
Okay, so even if it's a low scoring,
So even if it's a 1-1 draw,
you still win.
you still win.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So it's like you're kind of hedging your bets a little.
exactly. It's all about,
Yeah.
find that balance.
It's interesting to see how they come up with these parlays.
Yeah, the bookmakers are clever.
Yeah, it's like, how can we tempt people with...
Exactly. It's all about finding a bet that appeals to your gut feeling as well as your analysis of the game.
That risk tolerance.
And your risk tolerance, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all this, but one thing we haven't really touched on
Yeah.
is the tactical battle that's going to be going on between the managers.
Oh, the mind games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's more than just, the players.
Absolutely.
You've got 2 really good,
Two brilliant managers.
with very distinct
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think, like, what are we going to see from them?
Well, on the one hand, you've got the Atalanta manager, who's very much a proponent of that high-pressing attacking system.
Yeah.
He wants his team to play on the front foot.
Okay.
Really take the game to the opposition.
So he's going to, I imagine he's going to stick to his guns, right?
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
Is he going to stick to his guns and try and overwhelm Napoli with that attacking style?
Right.
Or will he be a bit more pragmatic
Right.
and try and adapt his approach?
To counter Napoli's defense.
Yeah, try and exploit maybe some perceived weaknesses.
Okay. And then on the other side, you've got the Napoli manager, who's a little more,
He's a bit more pragmatic, I think.
yeah, a little more flexible.
Yeah, he's known for his tactical flexibility.
So what do you think he's going to do?
Well, he could set his team up to absorb the pressure.
Yeah.
And then, look to hit Atalanta on the break,
Like we were talking about before.
as we were talking about before.
But he could also, I guess, he could also come out and...
He could try and match Atalanta's intensity.
Right.
Go toe-to-toe with them.
Really disrupt their rhythm.
Disrupt their rhythm, try and control the game from the outset.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what's going to happen.
We don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see.
Like you wish you had a crystal ball, right?
If only.
Yeah.
But then again,
That's
part of the beauty of
the
football,
mystery of it.
it's that unpredictability
Yeah.
that keeps us coming back for more.
Yeah. Imagine if you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of boring.
It'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, all right. So we've got this tactical battle.
Yeah.
We've got the fact that there's no clear favorite.
Yep.
And then you add in the fans.
The 12-man.
The fans are going to be...
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be...
Especially for Atalanta.
Especially for Atalanta.
At home.
At home.
The US Stadium is going to be...
Oh, I can only imagine.
Rocking.
Noise, the passion,
Yeah.
the flags waving. It's going to be a spectacle.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference, right?
Absolutely.
That's
the fans can have such a huge impact on a game.
Especially in a big match like this.
Oh, yeah, when the stakes are high.
Boy, it's so close.
The fans can really be that extra push that a team needs.
It's like sometimes I think the fans are more...
Oh, they're just as invested
than the players are.
If not more so.
Yeah, because they're right there, living and dying with every...
They're living every tackle, every pass,
every shot.
every goal.
It's like a collective.
It's a collective experience, isn't it?
It really is.
That brings people together.
Regardless of, who they are.
Background, social status.
Yeah, everyone's there.
Everyone's united.
For that 90 minutes.
For that 90 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful thing. It's pretty special.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the tactical battle. We've talked about the fans. The fact that there's no clear favorite.
It's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But there's one other thing we need to talk about, and that is...
The X factor.
The X factor, right? Because we can look at all the stats, we can look at
all the
data, but sometimes it just comes down to one player.
Individual brilliance.
Having a moment of magic.
A moment of magic, yeah.
That changes the entire game.
Absolutely. And that's something that you can't really predict.
You can't predict it.
No.
No.
But it happens all the time.
It does happen all the time, yeah. So I guess the question is...
Who's going to be the hero?
Who's going to be the hero? Who's going to be
Who's going to step up?
The player that steps up and makes the difference.
Yeah.
And both these teams have players.
Oh, yeah. They've got match winners.
Who can do that.
And both sides.
So, like, for Atalanta, I mean, obviously you've got...
Well, their star striker, obviously, is the one to watch.
He's the one everyone's going to be looking at. Because he's the guy that can, like...
He can score from anywhere.
Yeah.
He can create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
He's got that magic touch.
That's the kind of player that can just win you a game.
Absolutely.
Single-handedly.
Single-handedly, yeah.
And then for Napoli, who do you think is the...
Well, I think their midfield maestro is one to keep an eye on.
Okay, yeah, we talked about him a little bit.
Yeah, he's the one who can really dictate the tempo.
Yeah.
Unlock defenses.
Yeah.
With his passing.
Yeah.
And he's also got a knack for scoring spectacular goals. From distance, yeah.
So he could be
He could be a game changer.
The game changer for them.
Absolutely.
So you've got these individual players that can really...
They can defy all the odds, can't they?
Defy all the odds, yeah.
You know, you can have the best tactical plan in the world.
Right.
But sometimes it just comes down to a moment of brilliance.
Yeah, a moment of that.
From an individual player.
And that's what makes football so...
unpredictable.
Exciting.
It's that human element.
The human element. Right. Absolutely.
But you can't quantify. You can't put it into a spreadsheet.
You can't know.
Yeah.
It's just there.
It's there.
Yeah.
All right. So we've covered the tactical battle.
Yeah.
We've covered the potential for individual brilliance. We've talked about the fans.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big question remains.
The big question.
Who's going to win?
Yeah. That's what everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
Is Atalanta going to win at home with their attacking style? Yeah. Or is Napoli going to
spoil the party?
Spoil the party and get a victory on the road.
It's going to be fascinating to see.
All right. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get into our prediction.
We are?
In the next part of our deep dive.
We're going to reveal all.
We're going to reveal all.
Yes. It's a tough one, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, we've kind of laid out all the key factors.
Yeah.
You know, Atalanta's attack, Napoli's defense, the different approaches of the managers.
Right.
It's almost like one of those classic boxing matches, you know, where you have like the brawler going up against the technician.
Right.
And both of them have a path to victory.
Yeah, and sometimes those are the most exciting fights.
They are.
The ones where it's like, you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And then you layer on top of that the fact that even with the best, you know, tactics, sometimes it just comes down to a player.
Yeah, a moment of individual brilliance.
Having a moment of brilliance, and then that changes everything.
Changes the whole game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you ever, like, seen a match where it was just, like, one player just...
One player can win a game.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I remember, I think it was a few years ago. There was a match between, I want to say it was Roma and Juventus.
Okay.
And Roma are having a really tough season. And Juventus, as usual, were the dominant force in the league.
Yeah.
And on paper, it should have been a very straightforward win for Juventus.
Right.
But Roma had this young winger who just had an absolute blinder.
Oh, wow.
He scored 2 goals. Both of them were just stunning. And he created so many other chances.
Yeah.
And Juventus just couldn't handle him.
Wow.
It was one of those, you know, those performances where you just had to stand up and applaud.
Yeah.
Regardless of who you supported.
It's those moments that make you just like...
It's what makes football so special.
Love this sport, you know?
It really is.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So thinking about this match, like, do you have anyone in mind on either side?
Yeah.
Who could be that?
Well, on the Atalanta side,
yeah.
You know, we've already talked about their star striker.
Right.
he's the obvious one.
Yeah, that's who everyone's going to be watching.
He's the one to watch.
Yeah.
He's got that clinical finishing, but he's also so quick and agile and technically gifted, so he can dribble past players, create space for himself, score from all sorts of angles.
Yeah, he's a handful.
Flor's a real handful for defenders.
Yeah, so he's definitely one to watch.
He is.
And for Napoli, do you have anyone in mind?
I think you have to look at their midfield maestro.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one who can control the tempo of a game.
Yeah.
You know, unlock defenses with his vision.
And those passes.
Yeah. And he can score goals himself.
Yeah.
So if he's on his game,
yeah,
he could be a real problem for Atalanta.
All right, so we've got the potential for,
like you said, individual brilliance on both sides.
Absolutely.
But let's bring it back to the tactical battle for a second.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that the Napoli manager is really good at, like, adapting.
He's very adaptable.
His tactics, yeah.
Yeah, he's not afraid to change things up.
Do you think he might, like, pull something out of the bag?
Well, he might.
For this match?
Yeah, he might try and surprise Atalanta.
Yeah.
And one option he could consider is mirroring Atalanta's formation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he could go with a 3-4-3 himself.
Wow.
Essentially matching them.
So he's basically saying, I'm not scared of you.
Yeah, we're going to come at you with the same intensity that you're going to come at us with.
So that would really throw Atalanta off right
It could do.
Because they're used to, like, dictating the play.
Exactly.
And if someone comes at them with the same
formation, same approach,
suddenly they have to think differently.
They have to think differently. Yeah.
That's a really bold strategy, though.
It is a bold strategy.
It could backfire.
It could backfire. Yeah.
But it could also be brilliant.
It could also be a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
But then again, he could stick to his guns.
Right.
And go with the tried and tested 4-4-2,
which has worked well for them,
which has been so effective on the road.
So it's really a tough call for him, isn't it?
It is. It's a real dilemma.
Yeah.
And I think it will probably come down to how confident he is in his players.
Okay.
You know, if he thinks they can match Atalanta's intensity,
right,
then he might go with the 3-4-3.
Right.
But if he has any doubts, I think he'll probably err on the side of caution.
Stick with what they know.
And stick with what they know.
Yeah. So this tactical battle is almost as interesting.
Oh, it's fascinating.
As the match itself.
It is. It's like a game of chess between the two managers.
Yeah.
And, every move is crucial.
Right.
And, they have to be thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Yeah. And there could be, like, mistakes.
There could be blunders.
Yeah.
There could be moments of brilliance.
Yeah. It's really...
It's all part of the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about individual brilliance. We've talked about the tactical side of things.
Yeah.
But there's one other, I guess, element that we need to talk about, and that's the fans.
Ah, yes, the fans.
The fans.
The 12th man, as they say.
Yeah. They can
make a difference.
Make a difference, especially in a game like this.
Absolutely.
Where it's, 2 of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be electric.
Yeah, Atalanta's fans they're known for being quite passionate.
They are.
So they're going to
create a cauldron of noise.
Yeah.
At the US Stadium.
Yeah, and the Napoli fans who travel, they're not going to be.
They'll make themselves heard as well.
They're going to be loud, too.
Oh, yeah, they'll be trying to drown out the Atalanta fans.
Yeah, it's going to be like a battle of the fans.
A battle of the fans.
As much as it's a battle of the players.
It's all part of the spectacle.
Yeah, the noise, the chants, the flags.
You can't replicate that atmosphere.
You can't replicate it.
No.
And that's what makes it so special.
That's what makes football so special.
It's that human element.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is.
I mean, sometimes I think the fans are just as...
Oh, they're just as invested.
Invested in the game as the players.
If not more so.
Yeah, it's like they're living and dying with every
tackle, every pass.
Every shot, every
save. Every near miss.
Every near miss.
It's like
it's a collective experience.
It's a collective, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it brings people together.
It does.
I mean, it doesn't matter who you are.
It doesn't matter your background.
Yeah, everyone's there.
Everyone's united.
For that 90 minutes.
For that 90 minutes.
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
So, as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's just appreciate the fans and the passion.
The passion and the drama.
The drama, the joy, the despair.
It's all part of it.
It's all part of it.
And it's what makes it so...
It's what makes football so special.
Special. All right, so we've talked about the tactical battle.
Yeah.
Individual brilliance. the impact of the fans.
Yeah.
But we still haven't answered the big question.
The big question.
Who's going to win this match?
Who's going to win?
Is Atalanta going to win at home with their attacking style?
Yeah.
Or is Napoli going to,
spoil the party.
Spoil the party, get that away victory?
You'll have to wait for the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
To hear our prediction.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We're going to reveal all.
We will. You've got me on the edge of my seat here.
I know, right?
It's like, the more we talk about it,
yeah,
the harder it is to pick a winner. Yeah, because you could argue for either side.
You really could.
Atalanta at home.
Yeah.
So good offensively.
Right.
Napoli, so good defensively.
Away from home, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the data. We talked about the tactics.
We talked about the managers.
The fans. The X factor.
The X factor. And
it still feels like a coin toss.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does.
And I think that's a testament to the quality at the top of Serie A this season.
Yeah, it's anyone's game.
It really is.
All right, so no more stalling.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
All right.
The prediction.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to win this match?
I'm going to go with a narrow victory for Napoli.
Wow.
You're
going with Napoli.
I am.
Okay, so you're picking them to overcome Atalanta's home dominance.
I think so.
All right, talk me through it.
Okay, so for me, it comes down to a few things.
Okay.
Firstly, that defensive record.
Yeah.
Napoli's defensive record on the road is just exceptional.
Yeah, they don't let in many goals.
They don't. Less than a goal per game.
But Atalanta, they score a lot of goals.
They do. They do. And that's why I think the Napoli manager might do something a little bit unexpected.
What are you thinking?
I think he might mirror Atalanta's formation.
Oh, wow.
Go with a 3-4-3.
So, like, take away...
Yeah, try and disrupt Atalanta's rhythm.
Okay.
Make them think a little bit differently.
So, basically saying, like, we're not going to let you play your game.
Exactly. We're going to come at you with the same intensity that you usually bring to other teams.
Now, that's a risky strategy.
It is risky, but it could pay off.
It could, because it becomes more of like a back and forth game.
I think in an open game, I actually favor Napoli slightly.
Okay, why is that?
I think they've got slightly more individual quality in midfield.
Okay.
And I think they're very, very dangerous on the counterattack.
So you think they could, like, absorb the pressure?
I think they could absorb the pressure.
Yeah.
And then hit Atalanta on the break.
Okay, but Atalanta has that home advantage.
They do. They do.
That crowd's going to be loud.
The crowd will be a factor.
Yeah.
But I think Napoli are experienced enough to handle that.
They've been there before.
They've been there, done that.
Yeah.
They've won big games on the road before.
Okay, so you're saying Napoli.
I'm saying Napoli.
You think they're going to edge it out?
I think they might just edge it out.
Do you have a score line in mind?
I think it'll be very tight, maybe a 1-goal game.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 1-0 to Napoli.
1-0 Napoli.
Yeah.
And how do you think that goal's going to come?
I think it could be from a set piece or maybe a moment of individual brilliance.
Oh, like we were talking about.
Yeah, a bit of magic from one of those
key players.
Key players, yeah.
Okay, so 1-0 Napoli, that's your prediction.
That's my prediction.
All right. Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Our listener now knows who we think is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But like we've said,
football. Anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
That's the beauty of it.
It really is.
Yeah.
But no matter what happens, this is going to be a game you don't want to miss.
Absolutely not.
So to our listener, don't just watch this passively.
Yeah.
Engage with it.
Think about what we've talked about.
Yeah, look for those tactical battles.
Yeah.
Look for those moments of brilliance.
Yeah, see if you can spot the key matchups.
Yeah, enjoy the atmosphere.
Soak it all in.
Soak it all in. And
then come back and tell us what surprised you.
Yeah, come back and let us know what you thought.
What you thought, yeah.
Because this is all about, like, sharing our love of the game.
Absolutely.
You know, and having these discussions.
It's a shared passion, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, so on that note, enjoy the match, everyone.
Enjoy the match. Yeah, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.